So chapter 22. Brothers, fathers, kinsmen, hear my defense, which I now offer you. When they heard that he was talking to them in their language and their dialect, they became even more quiet and considered. Because, when you speak the language, especially the accent, people pay attention. But if you sound different, people either think you're stupid or a foreigner, outsider, you have less credit. He said, I am a Jew born in Tarsus of Cilicia. I grew up here and I was educated at the feet of Gamaliel. Now remember who Gamaliel was. The leading scholar of the Torah from AD 20 to 40 and taught at a school of 1,000 advanced students. So in other words, you had the credit if you were a student of Gamaliel. He was taught according to the strictness of the law of our fathers, of Moses. I'm passionate for God, just as all of you are today, he's telling them. I persecuted and pursued the followers of this way, referring to the way of Jesus, which he called the way to the death. He said, I bound them with chains. I put followers of Jesus, and men and women both, in prison. And as the high priest and all the council of the elders can testify to you, because from them I received letters to the brothers, and I was on my way to Damascus. And I was going to bring believers back who were there in Jerusalem, bring them back in chains and punish them. But on my way, I was there. He was on his way to Damascus about noontime, he's telling them, and he's like, a great bright blaze of light blinded me, for flash from heaven shone all around me. So I fell to the ground and heard a voice saying, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And I told him, who are you, Lord? And he said to me, I'm Jesus the Nazarene, whom you are persecuting. Now those who were with me, he said, they saw the light, but they didn't understand the voice that was speaking. So I asked, what should I do? And the Lord said, get up and go to Damascus. There you'll be told all that you're supposed to do and that it's destined for you to do. But since I couldn't see because of this glorious, intense, dazzling light, others had to lead me there to Damascus. And Ananias, a devout man according to the standards of the law, he throws in, well spoken by all Jews who lived there, came to see me, and standing near he said, Brother Saul, receive your sight. In that moment, I got my sight back. And he said, the God of our fathers has appointed you to know his will and to progressively understand his plan with clarity and power, and to see the righteous one, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, and to hear a message from his own mouth. For you will be his witness to all men, testifying of what you have seen and heard. Now why do you delay? Get up and be baptized. Wash away your sins by calling on his name. Then it happened when I had returned to Jerusalem and was praying in the temple enclosure that I fell into a trance/vision. And I saw the Lord saying to me, hurry up and get out of Jerusalem quickly, because they will not accept your testimony about me. And I said, Lord, they themselves know that in one synagogue after another, I used to put them in prison. I used to beat them. Anybody that believed in you, I persecuted. And when the blood of your witness Stephen was being shed, I stood there and approved and consent to his death, and was watching the coats of the people that were throwing the stones. And the Lord said, go, I will send you far away to the Gentiles. They listened to Paul until he made this last statement. But now they raised their voices and shouted, away with such a man from the earth. He's not fit to live. And as they were shouting all this and throwing off their coats, getting ready to throw some rocks, someone else will have to watch their coats for this one. And they threw dust around in the air, because this is what they did to express their anger. They just start throwing dirt around. Middle Eastern ways are a little different than us Southerners. We throw other things. The commander of the barracks ordered him to be brought back so he could talk to him while he was whipping him, interrogate him while whipping, because they figured if you're not a Roman citizen, you're not going to tell the truth. You're not of integrity to tell the truth. So the only way to get the truth out of you is to whip you. So they'd stretched him out and getting ready to beat him with those leather straps. And then Paul says to that centurion, is it legal for you to whip a Roman citizen uncondemned without a trial? So when the centurion heard this, he was like, let me go talk to my boss. So he said to the commander, what are you about to do? This man is a Roman. So the commander came to Paul and said, tell me, are you a Roman? And of course, Paul says yes. So the commander says, I purchased my citizenship for a large sum of money. So how did you acquire yours? Paul said, I was actually born a Roman citizen. So those who were about to interrogate him by torture immediately let him go. And the commander was also afraid when he realized that Paul was a Roman and he'd put him in chains himself. So the next day, they wanted to know the real reason why Paul was being accused by the Jews. So he released him and ordered the chief priests and the whole council, the Sanhedrin, the Jewish high court, to assemble, and brought Paul down and presented him before them. So in 23, we will get into Paul before the Sanhedrin and what he has to say to them. But in the meantime, I gotta go.